But I wanted to show you this. Really, there's a bit of a horror story going on in here. I've been working on everything, the electrics and everything else, and look at this absolute chaos mess. And I'm surprised anything functions. I'm almost totally embarrassed to show any of you this mess. But moreover is this is or has been my upscale piece of box, whatever something came in as a toolbox, and it's worked to a point, but look, it is just overflowing with tools. So what I plan on doing over the next week or two is to put an extra row here. I can only get into there, into the loft, so that's fine as long as I don't put anything across there. I'm okay. So what I want to do is put some tool tidy stuff there and there, maybe something under here, and replace this and gain back the bench. And what I'm going to be doing is putting this all together on the Creality Falcon 2. Now with that 40-watt head that I showed you before in another video, I'm going to use box PY to create the initial sort of finger joints for the box, and using the kerf on the 40-watt I plan on putting it together and creating myself some tool tidies. So that's the plan with this video, and let's just see how we get on and see if I can't put some of this away and tidy the whole area up. Okay everybody, welcome back. Now I have been on this project pretty much all afternoon, up downstairs, in and out of the shed, doing bits here, bits there. And I was going to use the Creality to create a few boxes and a few storage items, but at the end of the day I am pretty limited for studs behind there to fix things too. So I felt just a simple shelf, got rid of that old insert from a box and put things like that, organized the soldering, everything like that is done, and I have really done well, I think. Lovely, look at that, all clean. Well, it's all clear, I don't want to say it's clean. And another shelf went in along there, which took a lot of the old paints and some of my modeling stuff, my brushes, and generally I have had a hell of a tidy up, thrown some rubbish out and organized a few things. The only thing I haven't yet found room for are the pliers and the snips over there. That will happen. I'll have a little brainwave at some point. Hi guys, well, welcome back, and you see me just finishing off a quick trial burn. And basically what I wanted to do is put this Creality Falcon 2 Pro through its paces with the 40-watt head and create a project for you very quickly. Now I'm not skilled enough to create tabbed boxes yet of a bespoke size design, so I had to turn to one of the online selling platforms. In this case it was Etsy, and I found a person on there who has created many different types of boxes and sells the downloadable content for a very small fee. And in fact I've got a setup from him where I can cut 3, 4, 5 and 6 millimeter box in terms of the timber, and I have 8 different combinations, from lots of small ones, bigger ones, 8 inches deep and 1 foot wide in overall size. So each is a module and it can each be stacked upon the other one. So that's as far as I got in the design process. The little bits here where I've got different words that I put on, that's me customizing what I want to put on there. Arguably you could say, well, if you do that you then have committed it, and if you want to change the contents in the future it's going to look a bit odd. So there would be a very good point to leaving the engraving off and just adding in some labels or something like that that you can either replace in the future should you wish to do so. Protect how big things like the finger slots are, and I think they're a little on the tiny side. So before I make a proper one of these in 3mm MDF, Medite MDF, I'm going to see if I can't make those a little deeper before I commit to the design like that. It's a very simple thing to do, I'm sure, at least I hope it is, but I'm going to play around with that, and hopefully when it comes to the full burn I will make a set of 6 of these. if I have a specific size that I need to create them, I may have the skills involved that I can create tabbed boxes in this fashion on my own without too much help. But that is a learning curve, and that will take me a little bit of time. I really wanted to get a video out there showing how the 40 watt really does cope with doing its job, and it does it very, very fast. The engraving here was quick, the cut was very quick, and I can give you an idea based on this how long it actually did take. So let's go up to preview, and there it all is, and it will take 11 minutes to cut that as you see it with all that engraving. Now if let's just OK that, if I come out of there and let's say get rid of that engraving, get rid of that one, because I think I'm going to go with my other option of blank fronts, albeit very nice to have one. So let's just look at that now, and that has reduced without the engraving down to 5 minutes. So if that is 5 minutes, there is less or more depending on what I'm cutting on the 10 sheets at 360 by 360. I say 8 sheets at 400. But if it's about 5 minutes, that's only about 20 minutes to create the whole of one module. Now you don't have to worry about kerf burn offset on this because it's designed to be glued. So you would literally put this together with some PVA glue and off you go, good to go. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to see if I can just make these finger holes a bit better. All I've got to do is take this and group them. At the moment they're grouped. So let's just click on that. Up to here, come on, play. There we go. I can reduce that circle to there. And then I can reposition that like so. And if I now go into there and hold down my command key and include that. Now that's not quite where they should be. I'm going to put that via line. No, I've done that wrong. Let's do that one. There we go. So now we have got that circle central. And all I have to do now is to go onto here and click the Boolean effects, and this is subtract, and that should take me out my new finger slot. Perfectly done. So now all I need to do with that is bring it right up to the top of the material, and then all I simply do is go into here, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think we can't quite get 5 in, but what I could do with that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll OK that, and this one, what we're going to do, if I can, I'll ungroup them all. So if I highlight, ungroup to there. Now this one should now highlight on its own. It does. Bring that across to there, bring it up a little bit, and we've got 6 draw fronts on there, and that will work fine. I'm going to start cutting this out of 3mm Medite MDF and see how that lovely 40 watt head executes the whole lot very, very quickly. Okay, catch you all soon. Okay, so I have put one board in and I've cut the first lot out. And as you can see, they've all dropped out very, very cleanly. Really happy with that. And this is 3mm. Okay, take those out of the base, and look at that. They're really beautiful. I'm really very, very pleased with the way these look, and they slot in there. Now let's just check that they do slot in as they should do. They are handed by the look of it. There is a little bit more at one end or the other, but with a bit of glue they will do exactly what they should be doing. And I will cut the next piece of board and start building all the bits that I need to make this 6 drawer unit that I planned. So let's carry on and see what happens. Now that cut is done and finished, and it took 44 seconds, but the reason it took 44 seconds is I hadn't changed the cut size. So I've got to do this one again. Schoolboy error. Looks good, but it's not burned all the way through. So that is now a piece of scrap board. Not to worry, I will cut it again. Once that's finished the frame, we're going to get on. Hi guys, and a very warm welcome back. Now, as you can see, I'm no longer in the garage. I'm up in my modelling room on the workbench, and I have a large pile of laser engraved timber that I've been doing on the Creality Falcon 2 Pro. Now, I have used the 40-watt head to do this because I think I was right in saying there was about 11 sheets of board for this one. Now the boards I were using were some older pieces, so they were for another laser, so they were smaller, so I had to sort of Tetris all the individual parts for this into that smaller area. That said, the Creality Falcon 2 is a 400 by 415 work area, which is much better and would use less pieces of wood to accomplish the same job. Anyway, all that said and done, I'm so glad that I used the 40-watt laser head to do this, because these cuts, as I say, there were about 10, 11 sets, and it would have taken forever, I think, on the 22-watt, but because the 40-watt is so much faster, it got through them in so many minutes each one, and that's really good. So it really was quite a large job, and it was quite a quick job using that 40-watt, so I'm really pleased about that. But I have now got the job of sorting this lot out and putting it all together to create the final project. Now, two of the drawers this way, or two shells, so they will slide into each other like so, if I get this right. You watch me go and bust this on camera, I won't be too pleased, but that is, I'm sure, going to work. There we are. So we've got basically, come on. Once that's all sorted out and squared up and put in place, I'm sure that will work fine. He says, well, there we go, there's a little bit of it done and no gluing involved. It's flush there and it's flush there, so it's all cut exactly to the right size. Use those, and what I've done is I've got some PVA glue, and I've got a couple of lolly sticks or spatulas, coffee stirrers, and they'll come out in different sizes, I don't know. But I felt that it would be a lot cleaner than trying to get glue out of this nozzle in a sensible way, and I just felt that it would be easier just to dip in here and put the wood glue where you need it. So I'm working on a fairly flat surface, as flat as these old cutting mats will allow me. And so what I'm going to do is, if I don't embarrass myself on camera, which is liably going to happen, I am going to quite literally start gluing these together. So I'm going to do this one and hopefully time lapse all the others, and if I get it right, we'll be good to go. So now that is going in there, so what I need to do here is to put glue on that part and that part, and I think this is by far and away the best way to do it, like so. And then I'm going to put glue on, got to remember which one I'm putting glue on the faces here, isn't it? So if I put some glue on those tabs, so I'm going to pretty much glue the tabs. I think that should be what I need to do. And I think this little piece of broken spatula, this is a thinner piece that I think was fine. So technically, if I got that right, I should go in there and sit there for a moment while I while I glue up the next piece. So there's not going to go off too quickly. I think we've got plenty of wiggle room, and I'm going to test that one. I think we've got that as it should be. Okay, so inside tabs again. Try and keep it off the bottom. You could, if you didn't want to do one tab, you can do these tabs on the face just by checking which way they're going to go, and then you can just do the bases of the timber. It's almost the same as, of course, doing the other tabs. I am getting a little messy with the paint, I will admit, but I will also give it a little clean off with a damp rag. I think that'll do. Oh, I've forgotten this one, haven't I? So let's just do these little tabs here on the face, and then this section in here, which will butt up to the tab on the other side. See if that is a correct assumption. I think it will be. Now these aren't hard to put together in that regard because they are quite a wide cut. The kerf, or the loss of material between these, is quite generous. What I will do is just come up here with another stick, just take off any excess glues from the edges so that it looks a little bit neater. Check for square. Good. Alright, so I'm going to carry on and get this first row finished off. Now I'm just going to push this into place and make sure I've got it in the right way. Now it should be quite square. The timber's good and nice and flat, and I pushed all the joints nicely home, and it sits quite happily on its base. So hopefully we're good. I've only got another 5 to make. Well, I won't put you through all the pain of watching that. There is a problem. I forgot to cut the sides, so I'm going to have to go down and do a bit more cutting, and I'm going to come back to this and fix the box, make that all work. By that time the drawers will be fully dried off and solid, not a problem. Tomorrow I hope and put the top and the sides on this and hopefully bring it to a conclusion for you. Catch you all later. Bye bye for now. Thank you everyone, and a warm welcome back. It is the next day and all the boxes are nice and solid and finished, so that's all the trays done, and we got so far down the road with this one, and I glued the tray on, the segments for the trays, and also the back onto that, just to square everything up at the end of the day. Not a problem with that. I felt, to be fair, that the slots here were a little bit on the mean side. They took a little bit of teasing in to get them to go where I wanted them to, so it's meant a slight distortion in the back here because I had to literally tap down. I'm just going to glue the areas. We don't need to glue the tabs in this case. it all seems to completely lock up, and I'm not unhappy with the outcome. I did not think that that was going to work, but I'm happy that it did. So then for the final acid test, as it were, let us just see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, there you go. Look, one set of 6 drawers in a box, in a modular box made by yours truly on the Creality Falcon 2 Pro with that lovely 40-watt laser head. Now, I gotta say, I don't think this is too shabby. It's not perfect, and it did have to go together with a little bit of brute force in the end, but at the end of the day, I'm not unhappy at all. If I were making this myself and I had the knowledge about creating boxes, tabs, and doing all the offsets and all of those things that you need to understand when you're creating your own storage. And don't get me wrong, I don't know those things today, but I am learning, and I'm constantly looking at understanding more about this sort of thing as I go forward. And especially now I've got the Creality Falcon 2 Pro, and also both the 22 and the 40-watt laser head. I really want to put them to good use in the future and make many more things. This is just a starter. I just wanted to show you that out of all the burns, it did not take long to do with that heavier or that more powerful laser head. And I think the fact that that one's got a 40-watt and a 22-watt built into the same head, it is a win-win, because you can dial it back at any time you want to for fine engraving, and you can punch it up to its normal rate for fast cutting, and that's what it was able to do in this case. And of course, I have shown you that it can cut deeper and bigger material should you need that, but I feel that most of us as railway modelers probably only cut 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, or possibly on occasions 4mm board. But yeah, I think I'm really chuffed with that. It works quite well. Now, if these ever swell, and I haven't decided to paint them up or anything like that, but if they ever swell, then you could put something like, if you've got a tin of knotting, which is basically a shellac, you could seal all of this. You will stain it darker, but you could seal the whole of this with shellac and the drawers if you wanted to do that. Or you could go in and seal it with some sort of matte spray varnish if you want to. It'd be quite expensive to do that, because this would take at least a tin probably to do the job properly, that is. But you could do that and seal it off, or then paint it, or just paint it, whatever you want to do. You don't even have to do anything at all. I am only going to be making the one for a little situation behind me, which I'll show you at the end of the video, and I'm really pleased with it. As I say, I wanted to do one of these. I just, as I said, I didn't have the skills to make one myself, so I had to buy a design already made, and I think that is okay. It was cheap as chips, and I can make any amount of these, and you know, I can have 2 at the top, 2 long trays, I can have 3 long trays. Doesn't matter which way I do it. These are all modular, and they just stack on top of each other, sit side by side. But I'm just going to put some tabs on here. What I might do with these, when I start realizing what I want to put in them, I may make some little compartments out of 3mm MDF, maybe even just that height. Measure it up carefully and just glue them in place like that. Now, most of you, before I finish, most of you will know that I am an artist, and I felt with the laser engraver I could actually make something a little different. And you can make any shape you want with a laser engraver, and I felt that these 6-inch discs, which is the same wood that I would paint on if I was doing a square board and gessoing it or whatever. I felt a nice circular painting would be a bit of fun. Maybe the odd garden bird or something like that on here as an oil painting, and I think I like the idea of that. But I cut it and I suddenly realised, how on earth am I going to hold that still long enough on the easel so that I could paint it without it rolling away, falling off, or just slipping? So I came up with this idea. There you go. I cut a hole in a piece of wood. I cut an identical piece of wood. They will be glued together, and then all I've got to do is sit that in there. Now I can put it in my easel. It's not going to go anywhere, and I can paint my picture and then just take it out and get the next one and put it in. Simple idea, and I just quite chuffing myself for that, because I could never have cut with a knife or anything else really an exact edge to a piece of wood and an exact circle to take this. All I did with this one is I cut this out and I made the circle on this part just 1/10 of a millimeter bigger, so that it wouldn't jam up and bind in there trying to get it out, because if it does and I can't get it out, I could destroy the work I've done on here in doing so. But this way, all I've got to do is take it out, let this dry, put another one in, off I go again. So yeah, so it's got even great possibilities as a laser engraver for my art, professional art business, and when it comes to framing, all sorts. I mean, you think about this, and I've just had another idea, sorry, I'm going way off topic, but you think about, you wanted a square mount and you wanted to have a lovely picture sat behind this, so you can have your picture and you can set it up. This can be painted white or any other color you want it to, but you've got a beautiful mount for your picture to sit in as in a square frame. Easy peasy, love it. Anyway, enough of all that. I am going to crack on. I will just spin the camera around at the end and show you this once I've got it all set up and loaded up with kit. And what I will say is, if these do bind, there's nothing stopping you waxing down the sides or underneath so that they will slide easy. But I think there's enough in here. They're not too wobbly, but there's more than enough to stop them binding. You can't beat this weather today, I tell you. Shush, I'm busy. So anyway, enough of all that. If you've enjoyed this little video on the Creality Falcon 2 with the Pro with the 40-watt laser head and what I've managed to do with it, then I'll list all the details underneath this in the Show More tab. I think there are still some offers on the engraver should you want to get yourself one, whether it be the 22-watt, the 40-watt, or indeed if you want to really pump up the volume and get the 60-watt version, you can do that too. And I'll leave the link to where I got these designs from as well. I'm sure the guy that is selling them will be pleased. There's some more business, and if I can manage to make this, I'm sure you guys can as well. So until the next one, catch you all soon. Bye bye. Enjoy your modeling, enjoy your trains. Catch you all in the next video, which is going to be episode 12 maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Whatever it is, I'll see you then. Take care. Bye bye.